Hi everyone, I'm Nora and welcome to Kazouza Hamra. Today I am joined by a very special guest. She has been making her rounds around social media, really inspiring the Arab community and uplifting them. And really she is the big sister that we all needed. And the reason that is because she's been very vulnerable online, talking about her experience navigating motherhood, being a single mom, going through divorce, and all the struggles that comes with being an Arab, being a woman, being a mom. So it's none other than Hanooon. So join me in welcoming Hanooon. So Hanooon is in the building.
That was a great intro. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to meet with me.
I wish everywhere I go, someone introduces me like that. Hey, everyone.
See, when it's authentic and it's real, it just comes out.
Absolutely.
So by the way, this is the first time we're meeting. We've never met before, but I totally feel like I know her. Not only do I feel like we weirdly look alike, and she looks like my cousin Marwa, which shout out to my cousin Marwa out in California. She's sort of like her twin. But similar mannerisms, we joke the same, and honestly, we had to do a couple takes because we kept laughing, and it's really nice.
I love to laugh.
So I'd like to start off by asking you the first question. Mm-hmm. What inspired you to become a content creator, a fashionista, and that big sis that we all need?
Because I was always so secluded. I was always left alone. No one looked at me, but I always saw the bigger picture. I've always wanted to be famous. I love the camera. I love the attention to an extent, but I still love the attention too.
It's good and bad attention, I guess.
So I feel like I grew up and I didn't have the big sister. Right. So now I feel like I am influencing the youth as a big sister, just being honest, being very vulnerable about my story, which I know not everyone needs to hear it, but I feel like some women are so into themselves, so in tune with what they're going through that they have no one to relate to. And right. Divorce and being a single mom, being an Arab woman, being a little bit more more plus size. You're not focused on, Right. So I just I'm here to feel for everyone else.
And usually in our culture, I'm from Syria, so typically when we go through a divorce, it's something that's looked down upon, right? So it's oh my God, it's over for her. She'll never be able to live life again. It's as if you die, but you're living. Yeah. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, they want me to get married to a 60-year-old man. Because I'm divorced. That's the mindset. I am still young and still beautiful. And
right.
I have my whole life ahead of me. So that mindset where you're divorced, you have kids, you should marry whoever wants to come to you. I'd rather be alone. Right. It's I'd rather be alone. Whoever's gonna come, let me just jump on the wagon and go for it. And no woman should ever just settle just for anything.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And that's and I think one of the things when I started Kazouza, I wanted to have that voice for our young Arab girls because I know what it's like when I came to the U.S., which by the way, my brother and I were born in Syria, but we came here, we were 6 and 7. And it was very difficult because one, I felt like I didn't really know a lot of Arabs at all. Yeah. We did have ICPC, we went to Sunday school at ICPC, but at the same time, you only saw those kids once a week and then you were learning, so there really wasn't much time to really interact, even though I do have some funny stories from ICPC.
We all do.
ICPC. But nevertheless, that was the only really interaction I had with the community. Yeah. And then we had South Patterson, which is now Little Palestine. That's really the heart of our community.
It's my love story to the world.
Absolutely.
I grew up, people were oh, don't say you're from Patterson because it's embarrassing. I'm no, I'm straight up from Patterson, New Jersey, loud and proud, Yeah,
shout out to Patterson, New Jersey.
I love it. The community is amazing. The way you grew, that's why I started Taste of Patterson, because I wanted people to know that you're here, but you're home too. So wherever corner you shift to, wherever you go, you're going to find someone just like you. And I feel like that's what we're lacking as a community. We just want to relate to one another.
Absolutely,
and we grow up, everything is so closed-minded and no one wants to just see the brighter picture, and it's just it's there. We're allowed to see it. We don't have to act on certain things, but we're allowed to see our future. We're allowed to be whoever we want to be.
Absolutely, and to create a life that is going to be conducive for you, right?
Absolutely. And ultimately, so when I started Taste of Patterson, I wanted to tell the story of the owner. I don't know about you, but I'm I don't want to say nosy.
Yeah, you want to get to know their story, absolutely.
I'm not nosy, but when I go to a restaurant, I like to say, who's the owner? Who made this? So I felt like I'm not a food critic. Everyone goes into these restaurants, they show the food, they show everything. I didn't want to show that. I want to show the face behind the plate, the face behind the menu.
That's amazing.
I want to know your story. What made you come here? Even if it's not your story, just some fun facts about you. So when someone comes, I'm oh yeah, he made this because he's so engulfed into his country, or he made this because it reminded him of his mother's cooking. So stories like that generate the emotional connection, and people love to relate.
That's what I felt like growing up here in the U.S. I never felt I really had that growing up.
Yeah.
One, my mom also told me, she was like she's like, stay away from the Arabs here. Like the Arabs
we all
here,
hear that
they're like
up.
Arabs here are not like the Arabs back home. So I don't know what the hell that meant.
Yeah.
But as I grew, obviously, I met a lot of Arab girls, and so in some instances she was right, and in others I'm like, absolutely not.
But that goes for everything and everyone.
Right, exactly. So that's not like a U.S. issue per se. It's more like in every culture, every group, you have a character issue. Exactly, well said. And I wanted to kind of tie back into growing up here and how we didn't have access to people to talk about these things. Yeah. Like everything was so taboo. Yeah, if you had a crush on anyone, you couldn't say a single freaking word. Even if you like told one of your friends, she could tell her mom, and her mom would go tell your mom, and it's like, hey, this mom's your friend's mom called me, and why are you doing this at school? You're like, but this girl does this at school, so why is she even talking about what I'm doing?
Exactly.
Like mind your own business.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think now what I love, obviously with South Patterson, I think it's definitely provided the community being back home without being back home. Yeah. And another point I wanted to tie into talking about South Patterson was when we were younger, we didn't have any adults to relate to as young Arab American kids growing up. We didn't have that. They would always bring like shuyukhs from back home that only their frame of reference was only back home. Yeah. So they would try to instill that here, but the reality of it is you're going home and you're being exposed to one culture, then you're going to school and you're getting exposed to something else.
Absolutely.
So you were kind of never Arab enough, but never American enough, right? And I think many Arabs share that same identity issue, kind of, I guess we can say.
Yeah, growing up, my father's like a religious man, so everything was no to him, So I wanted to write a book. I wanted to be a fashion designer. No, so I had books and books and books of becoming a fashion designer. I don't know one time what I said to him, he got so mad, he threw all my books away. So I was like, okay, I don't want to be a fashion designer anymore. I'm like, let me be an author. Let me say my story as a double, an Arab American teenager living a double life. That's the kind of life I kind of lived. We lived a double life. And I wrote the book and I finalized it. I swear to you, maybe it was like 5 of the 5-star notebooks, okay? Wrote everything. My dad, he was like reading, I guess he found them. He was reading like the stories I was writing. And he was like, you're not publishing this. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, we're going to take it to the sheikh. And the sheikh has
take you to the sheikh? Yes.
Yeah, so he didn't take it to the sheikh. He ended up telling the sheikh, my daughter wants to write a book. And at that time, the sheikh was like, no, this is like post 9/11. So like, I don't blame them. But at the same time, it's like, why? Like, I would have like made it. I would have got us out of the situations we were in. You would have stopped working these 2 jobs, because my father's a blue collar man. So he would have stopped working those 2 jobs. My mom would have stopped working her 2 jobs. We would have, I love Patterson, but we could have been in a better community with better school systems and just, better environment. Right. And just, they always stopped my success.
Well, the good news is it's never too late, and alhamdulillah, you're experiencing a lot of success now. Yeah. What's interesting I have a funny story. When I was younger, I also wanted to be a fashion designer. Yeah. And I remember I told my dad, like, Baba, please, I think I was maybe 8 years old. I'm like, Baba, please get me a sewing machine. I want to sew. Aww. And I had an obsession with denim. I love denim. Did you ever watch the movie Teen Witch?
Yeah, I love Teen Witch.
All right, so Teen Witch was like my film. Yeah. I used to copy all their style, the girl style, even though it's so haram now. And I look back, I'm like, how the hell was I watching this as a young kid? But nevertheless. So I was like, Baba, can you get me a sewing machine? I want to sew. And he's like, I did not bring you to this country to become a seamstress. Oh my he's God. Like, your option. But
they make so much money.
I say it, my dad is an amazing guy. I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression out there about my father.
Amazing men. They just,
but I guess he didn't see the value in becoming a fashion designer. He's like, no, if I'm going to give up, because my dad was a lawyer back in Syria. So he's like, if I'm going to give up my law degree to come to this country and work in an Italian restaurant 12 hours a day, you're either going to become a lawyer, an educator, an engineer, the lawyer, the doctor. And so.
You know what I feel bad when I look back at it now, because I'm a parent. I look back, like, our parents were just parents. They're also living their lives for the first time. And they came to a country that was so different than what they're used to. They had to come in, they had to close all the doors. They didn't know that when opportunity knocks, you have to open the doors.
Well, there's a lot of trauma with them. I mean, think about it. When they have to leave, they're afraid, they don't speak the language. Back then, I'm not sure what support was available compared to what the support is now, because obviously we've all grown up.
I was her doctor.
That's the thing. They put a lot of pressure on us.
I have so many careers.
I didn't speak English as a kid, and they're like, translate. I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to help, But it's a lot of trauma on their part, a lot of trauma, of course, for us growing up here, because you're like, who the hell am I? Like, I'm torn in this place. And I know for my parents, Syria was really important. Like, they're like, you cannot become American. You cannot be full Americans because you have to go back to Syria. So they used to make sure my brother and I went back to Syria every summer. Any break we had, we were not allowed to hang out here. It would be back to Syria. Yeah. Just so we can, which I guess as a kid I hated, but now I appreciate it because I got that exposure, and I see why people live. They're like simple, loving, caring people, you know, like the perception of our people.
We bring that here. That's what makes us different. What makes us special, you know, because we still bring a sense of back home here, like how I treat my friends. My American friends most of the time, like, I've never seen mannerism like this. It's not from me. It's the way I was taught. When you go back home, it's like, please eat, please take this, please do this. No, you want the shirt off my back? I'll give it to you. Like one time, my friend, like she's American, she told me, oh, I love your cardigan. I'm like, take it. She's like, take it. I literally took it out of my back, gave it to her. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, just take it. I'm like, I could buy another one, but you liked it. And she's like, I've never seen. I got chills because I remember that moment. She's like, I've never like had anyone interact like that with me. I was like, but you know, when you grow up, you're like, oh, I don't want to be Arab because like so much going on. I don't want to be Muslim because post 9/11. But then when you grow up, it's like, we're different. You know, we're spiced up in a different way. All those 7 spices, makluba spices, that's us right here.
9/11, that's a story for a whole nother different show. But I was in New York 9/11. I was actually in fashion school.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I ended
up go to fashion school.
I ended up going to fashion school. I pursued it, even though my dad told me not to. But I ended up pursuing it. But then, subhanAllah, I'm sitting in class, and then that happened. Oh wow! But that really changed the trajectory of my entire life because I ended up becoming an educator after that. But alhamdulillah for everything. I mean, now we're here and, you know, we're able to pursue whatever the hell we want to do. That's the thing. That's the beauty of life. You know, if you really put your mind to something and you're hyper-focused and, of course, you know, you pray to Allah and whatever Allah wants for you and whatever He wills for you is going to happen. And nothing or anyone could ever stop that.
Of course. I love that.
So now you were born here, right? You're saying?
Yeah, I was born in Patterson, New Jersey, yes. My whole life was in Patterson.
Are you the only child?
No, I'm the oldest of 3 more. Oldest of 4, I'm sorry. Oldest of 4.
Girls or boys?
So I have 2 brothers and a younger sister.
Oh, and how do your brothers feel about this whole like content creation, vlogging
They love
thing?
it. They support me.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
They don't
you
allow
see?
anyone to talk about me. So they love it. My mom's fully supporting. Like I started social media when social media was just starting. So 2016, 17.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't realize you've been doing it that long.
I had almost around 40,000 followers.
Wow, subhanAllah.
Like all the like influencers you see now that have made it and I have like millions of followers, I started right with them. Wow. But I had to stop because, you know, I got engaged. And at that time, he didn't want me to be on social media. And I don't know why. Like, I didn't fight for it. Because, subhanAllah, like, every time a man comes into my life, he wants to take something away from me that strips me from who I am as a person.
Right.
So, like, it's like, you know, he dimmed my light. I didn't see it at that time, you know. I just saw, like, he's just my husband, whatever. But I stopped it. And at that time, I was getting brand deals. I got a brand deal from H&M at that time. They're going to fly me out because that's when like you start seeing hijabi models everywhere, plus size hijabi models. So at that time I was going to model for them, and it was I don't know, when I shut that door, everything else in my life just shut. You know?
Well, if you don't mind me asking, was it an arranged marriage? Like, did you know this guy?
Kind of like, you know, he was looking to get married, and then, you know, he came to ask for my hand. We got to know each other a couple months, and then I was like, yeah, but you know, there was a lot of red flags, and I ignored them because I'm like, you know, I could change.
Well, I think a lot of ladies, we all go through this. Like when you're in love, and especially in our culture, there's so much emphasis and pressure. Like get married. I got
married too young. I was 20. I got engaged at 22. What the hell do I know at 22 years old? No. You know, I don't recommend. I mean, I don't want to say I don't recommend. I gotta choose my words wisely now because I don't know who's watching, but. I just say take your time, you know.
Take your time, evaluate, ask the right questions, see how they behave.
I wish I can and listen, I didn't live a horrible life. My parents were amazing people.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, my dad's a little religious, but I still lived my life, you know. I've been working since I was 14 years old. I started at Fattal's, you know. It was the best time of my life. Shout out to Fattal's. Yeah, it was the best time of my life. And my dad didn't force me to work. He just told me, do whatever you want. So I've been working. I worked all over Patterson. I worked at Fattal's, I worked at Brothers Produce, I worked at doctor's offices, and then I made it into like the retail world. So I worked at Sunglass Hut, then I grew in Sunglass Hut for 10 years. I started as an associate, and then I worked myself to director of talent, and then I started like running my own store. And after I had my second child, I stopped work. I was a stay-at-home mom, and that's when everything just like kind of like fell apart between like, you know, me and my ex. So after that, it's like now I'm basically just like rebuilding my life. And I told my parents, like...
And according to your own rules.
I don't listen to anyone. My dad just blocked me yesterday on social media. Even though, like, he knows I'm on social media. He knows I post all my videos. He knows what I talk about. But he's like, I just don't want to see it. He doesn't want to see the videos, you know? So he was like, because I saw I'm going to block you. And he's like, Ana halafit, if I ever see your video, I'm going to block you. I'm like, Baba, block me. But I was like, I'm not stopping. I was like, I'm
The
gonna
algorithm is recommending you to him.
What happened?
The algorithm is recommending you to him.
Yeah, and subhanAllah, like I've been doing this for how long? Since like December of 2024. I've been on social media since December 2024. Like I came back on it, and he just saw me just yesterday. And my sister was recording him, like him getting mad, but he still loves me at the end of the day. He's like, stop it. I'm like, no. He's like, stop it. I was like, no. And I was like, I have to. I'm like, who's going to help me pay my bills? Who's going to take care of me?
Right, yeah.
I was like, I'm going to take care of you.
Well, how does your husband feel, or ex-husband now?
Hey friends, I'm Nora, and before we jump back in, I have some exciting news to share. Kazouza Hamra is all about empowering our community. And right now, Palestine needs us. I know we've donated, but I wanted to do more in a way that costs you nothing. Here's how. Subscribe to Kazouza Hamra, like, comment, and share every video. And once we hit 1 million subscribers, I am donating 20% of all YouTube's earning to help rebuild Gaza. It's impact through action, and all you have to do is engage. Now back to the video.
How does he feel
I
about?
don't know. About what, social media?
Yeah.
I don't know. He has nothing to do with
That's
me
not
anymore.
right.
I will not allow any man to get involved with anything I do in my life.
Right.
The next man I marry, he's going to know what I'm
No,
doing.
I just wasn't sure. Like, did he
accept
reach
it.
out to your family and say, "Hey,
No,
look,
no,
why
no.
is she online talking about this
I'm not
stuff?"
talking about him, though.
Right.
I'm not talking about all respect to him, and due to legal reasons, we can't talk about a lot of things, because I'm still going through the case. But I'm not talking about him. I'm just talking about divorce and how you should deal with it.
How we navigate it.
Getting out of a toxic relationship. Like, if you see the red flags, run. They only get worse, I was so blinded. I was blinded by love.
Well, I think so many women get blinded by love,
but I was so blinded by love.
We've all been there.
I'm a lover girl. I love love, but
Well, I always try to think about, like, where does that come from? This constant, like, we get blinded by love.
We see our mothers push through it. We see our mothers like, تحملي.
Exactly. That's the advice we get. شدي على حالك. Yes, جوزك اهتمي في حالك.
إذا دفشك يعني مش متضربك. No, that's fighting words, please, mama. But not my mom. She never said that to me. But just speaking in general, like what I hear in the advice we get. And you listen to these stories, I'm like, and I, you know what I say, and I know I shouldn't be saying this, but when someone tells me their story, I say, leave. What are you doing? Then you hear someone, you can't tell someone to leave. Like, no, leave. I know it's hard. I know I shouldn't say it so blatantly like that, but.
Well, I think, there are a lot of factors to consider, right? I mean, you get married, you're young, you're not ready, prepared to, like, run a house. I mean, at least I know for me,
I'm going to say something, and whoever's watching this has to pay attention to what I'm going to say. If you're in a toxic marriage, and I want to say, I'm going to focus on the United States, okay? If you're in a toxic marriage and you want to get out, you need 3 things to get out of a toxic marriage. First, you need confidence. And if you have one of these 3 things, you can get out. And I'm going to say it just like that, and you have to listen to me. Okay, you need confidence to deal with anything that's going to happen to you. Because if you can have confidence, everything else is going to fall into place. You need someone to support you, your friend, your neighbor, your family, the mailman. I don't care. Someone has to support you. Okay, and the last thing, you have to have your own income.
That's a big one for our community.
Your job. You need to be financially independent because financial abuse is real. When you don't have any money, he's running your life if he's one of those.
Well, that's the issue that so many women experience, the financial abuse, and that's what keeps them in that relationship. They don't end up wanting to leave, right?
Yeah, but there's so many resources.
Remember when Katie Holmes got divorced? Yes. She divorced Tom Cruise. Yes. Like, you learned that she was planning it for 6 months.
Yeah.
she had everything set in place, like the phones, where she would live, where her dad would pick her up. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's the planning that somebody needs to do to get out of a marriage.
We had the intuition. I knew there was going to be a day where I was just going to be like, that's it. I'm not doing this no more. But I had to build myself. It took me a year to get where I am right now. So when he left, I didn't even react. I just went on about my day. I just went to work the next day. No. Didn't even care. So my parents, they're upset. They're hurt. They're tired. You guys.
Was it a conversation you guys had?
No. Oh. Yeah, no. And that's okay, to each their own. I respect everyone's decisions. I will never force anyone to do anything,
right.
But you have to have these 3 things. And if you have, let's just say you have a support person, okay?
Yeah, confidence, support, and money.
That support person is going to help you build the confidence. You're going to explain the story. They're going to tell you that, okay, like, I heard from a 3rd person view, and this is what you did wrong, this is what he did wrong, but then the fault goes on him more. And then that person is going to teach you, is going to help you, is going to guide you, go get a job, go do this, go do that.
Yeah.
And everything falls in place. But you have to have these 3 things. If you don't have any of these 3 things, then I'm sorry, but you're going to have to stay.
So I wonder, like, I feel like if Arab girls, and I don't want to generalize us to put us in a group, but we are focusing on our community, are we raised essentially finding our confidence through our husbands and not necessarily through our own thing and what we can do on our own?
Yeah.
Because a lot of us face similar issues, Yeah. I mean, alhamdulillah, like, I know in my first marriage, so much of who I was, my identity was wrapped up in him. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know who I
Me too.
was.
I
I didn't know. I'm like, who am I? What do I want? And I'm like, where the hell did that come from? Because I was once this very ambitious, confident young lady. Actually, I wouldn't say I was too confident. Because growing up, I didn't feel like I was very
confident. I thought I was confident.
I
my
thought
whole
to
marriage.
a degree, but I also felt like I'm kind of not enough. Like, am I doing enough? You know, and the pressure of the family, getting good grades. Like for me, I was I rebelled a little bit. You know, I'm not gonna lie and say I was perfect, but I rebelled. But education was always very important to me. So like I used to study my ass off. Like I used to read everything. I would be engulfed in just different books. Like that was my escapism. I used to read because my parents, I also come from a very strict household. I couldn't do a single thing. I was like, Mom, can I be a cheerleader? She's like, no,
we all had this conversation.
the skirt is too short.
Yeah.
Can you wear tights on? She's like, can I play basketball? Can I play basketball? She's like, that's a manly sport. You're not playing basketball.
That's why like I found my own way where I was like, you know, this is the kind of person I want to be. I always wanted to be that voice. Like when I was in high school, I was in every club. I was the president of every club. And I even said the other day, I was like, I even got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm going to be principal. I used to tell my principal, I'm going to take your job. She's like, you already have it. You literally make all the decisions in the school. So it's like, it was always in me. And I was reading my yearbook the other day, my high school yearbook, and I was literally going through all like the messages everyone sent me. And literally everyone would say, when you make it in life, don't forget us. Hanooon, I know you're going to be famous one day. Haneen, I already see you on the big screen.
Yeah, because you have the personality for it.
Saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself at that time. So I was like, and I was, subhanAllah, it was meant for me to find that yearbook. You know, as much as like I hear it all the time, like, Hanooon, you're doing such a great job. But for that time, when I was only 14 through 18, people had that message about me, same age as me too. I was like, wow. I was like, it's in me. I just have to like be a little bit more confident into it.
But I think you bring up a really good point, and ultimately, alhamdulillah, you're out there now. You're doing your thing, and young girls are definitely taking notice. So hopefully that at least inspires them that when they're looking for marriage, like these are the things that they should be looking for. Like one of the things and advice I can give to young girls out there, especially if you're an Arab and you're being pressured to get married, how a man treats his mother and how he treats his sisters are indicative of how he's going to treat you. So if he treats his mother and his sisters poorly, chances are, doesn't mean he's always going to, but chances are higher probability of him treating you poorly. So look at these things. You seem like you disagree.
It's not that I want to disagree. That's absolutely right. But there's certain relationships you have to look for. I think the main thing is to like look for narcissism. Is it
I don't want to say too much. Right. But it sounds like maybe an overbearing mom who's too involved in the marriage, maybe. Yeah.
And I think,
but
unless you put your
that's a problem. No, that's definitely a problem.
Yeah. If you put your foot down in the beginning and show like no one should get involved with your life and your husband's life, then that's different. Because then they're going to see like shakhsiyat qawiyya, like you have the strong will in you, where no one can get in your way. You know, don't be too nice. Someone gives you 1%, give them 3%. Someone gives you 5%, give them 8%. Yeah. But if someone gives you 1%, don't give 100. That's me right there.
Maybe when we sit down again, we can talk about, I guess when you're ready to talk about it, the overpowering mother-in-laws who come in and want to like dictate everything in the marriage. And ultimately that really just, it comes down on the man to set the tone. Yeah. Like he has to set the tone, like what's acceptable and what isn't. And sometimes you hear men like, well, like my mom and my sisters or whoever, like they always come first. But the reality of it is your wife now comes first. Like it's not saying you have to disrespect your mom. No, absolutely not. But your wife now takes that precedent.
Don't ever let me catch you disrespecting your mom in front of me.
Right, exactly.
Disrespecting your mom in front of me. You're going to go apologize. You're going to go kiss her feet. You're going to go kiss her hands because that relationship is important, but to an extent.
But I think like Islam has already set all these rules in place. But if we were following that.
They want to use it for.
Right, exactly. I think it's more of a cultural thing. It's not like a religious thing, but this definitely has ingrained itself into the culture and has made it so it presents like it's religion, but it's actually not. Yeah. All right, so let's move to how has your life been now as a single mom? How has it been? Has it been more difficult for you? Have you found that there's, in some instances, it's easier? Do you get days to yourself? I'm assuming that you drop the kids off some days where he takes care of them and parents them.
Yeah, it's a little different. I mean, I feel like it's more complicated being a single mom. Mm-hmm. I do have a village, but my village is also very busy with work and school. And I'm basically juggling it all. Like, I dropped them out to 2 different schools. And I work 2 part-time, like dead-end jobs. Like they barely do much, but I'm just like doing it because I can't work full-time either because of my son's schedule for school. So, and I'm doing social media full-time, and I'm still trying to be a friend and be a daughter and be a mother and juggling all these hats.
Different roles,
Yeah, it's tough, and it's tough, and it's not easy at all. And their responsibility. I have to also raise my son to be a man. I have to raise my daughter to be a respectful woman. So that also reflects on me, how I act towards them. So I'm doing all these things where I just want to breathe sometimes. No. But then when it's time for me to breathe, I miss them. Yeah, like when I used to like hang out with my friends for like 3 hours and I would go out, I would miss them. Imagine when they're away from me for a week, because their father.
Do you feel guilty?
I do feel guilty, but it's like, what am I going to do? I can't beg anyone to be in my life. And I don't think I can go back to that anymore. I can't go back to someone that just disrespected me, and a lot happened, and I just can't. I feel like رح أنزل حالي because nothing. You never saw my worth. How are you gonna see?
Yeah, once الرجال بوطي قيمة مرة, that's it. It's done.
That's it. Now I know my worth. Now I know what I deserve. Now I know how special I am in people's eyes. And now I know how beautiful I am. I used to think I was the ugliest thing in the world, and I was the fattest.
Oh my God, you're beautiful.
Thing in the world. I'm sorry, I know fat is such a like. I gotta be careful because America's a little sensitive. But I feel like when this is my prime time. Yeah. I'm my best right now. I feel my best. I look my best. I love to take care of myself, and I wish I did all this in my 20s more. No. So like whoever's watching this in your 20s, take care of yourself because it's so important. You literally will put yourself on the highest of pedestals. Because men sense that. Men know just. Well,
that's why I always feel like in a woman, a little bit of narcissism is necessary, not to a degree where it's pathological, but to take care of yourself, like making sure you're brushing your hair, you're taking a shower. Because I feel like women sometimes we get so caught up in everything, we forget to take care of ourselves.
No, invest in yourself.
Yeah, you got to invest in yourself first.
Self-love if you're taking care of yourself, habibti.
There's so much research that backs up, by the way, that when a woman is happy, when your wife is happy, the entire household is going to be happy. I mean, think about it. It's really it'll benefit you in the end, the man, if your wife is happy. And I'm not talking the superficial like happy wife, happy life. No, but there is research to back up. When a woman is happy in a household, she's going to be happy with her kids, she's going to be happy with her husband. But so many things factor into that, right? Absolutely. But when you're constantly, if there's no support, it becomes very difficult. Yeah, it becomes very difficult. Absolutely. Because then there's resentment and you're like, why am I doing this alone? And they're essentially a single married woman. Why does it have to be this way?
It's hard. And you can't.
So it becomes difficult.
And if anyone's going through what I'm going through right now, you're going through a divorce, you're a single mom, no one's coming to save you. No one's. I used to beg Allah to let someone save me. No one saved me but Allah. And I don't want to go into too much religion because I was never a religious person. I'm not a religious person now. Not because I don't want to be. I just it's my journey. But I felt like this had to happen to me so I can go back and be close to Allah. I was never close to Him. I'll say my inshallah, alhamdulillah, I'll read my Fatiha, I'll pray sometimes, but now I'm fully on that. And I feel like maybe that all had to happen. Allah had to put me through it so I can just get closer to Him.
So we're back. We had to take a little water break. And we are back. We're going to continue with this. And I do have a couple more questions for you before we head out for the day. Okay. So for starters, if you can go back in time, what would you tell your 16-year-old self?
To believe in myself.
To believe in yourself?
I had so much potential. Okay. And I just, I allowed everyone around me to dim my light. So now my light is bright. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not turning it off either. You're shining, babe.
You're shining.
Alhamdulillah.
All right, let me get my phone out here. I have the other questions for you.
Uh-oh.
All right, we're going to play a little segment here.
Okay.
This is a really important question. I'm sure everybody's going to want to know. What is your favorite Arabic song?
Ooh, إيهاب توفيق. Allah
لك يا سيدي قلبك ده في إيدي. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Would you cover for me if my mom called you to ask if I was with you?
Crazy? Yeah, she's in the bathroom right now. Don't worry. I'll let her call you when she's done.
Love it, love it. What is your go-to dish if your in-laws were coming over?
I will make them مقلوبة with مسخن rolls.
Nice.
With yogurt and cucumber salad and an Arabi salad. And I'll make dessert. I love cooking. That
sounds amazing.
I love to cook.
That's amazing. Yeah. We're also Palestinian. Palestinians make the best food in the world, right?
I love it. Cooking is my love language, by the way.
Right.
I love to feed people.
Well, especially in our culture, we're very, very big around food.
I told you, I'm a lover girl.
Actually, okay. Fourth question. What is your ultimate red flag in an Arab guy?
Oh my God. I want to say he vapes and wears Air Forces. I'm just kidding. God, please. That's a huge red flag. That's a walking red flag. Biggest red flag in an Arab man, or just men in general. I think the biggest red flag is him not allowing his woman to thrive.
Okay.
Like an insecure man. You could smell an insecure man from a mile away.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely can. All right. Last question. How does a man earn, or how does he become the khalas? This is it. He is the man in your eyes. Khalas. You're done looking. He's the one.
Oh my God, he's the one. He's emotionally available.
He's emotional. I love that. Yeah.
He has to be emotionally available. He has to feel for me. He has to be a lover boy too.
Well, emotional intelligence is cute.
Arab men know how to love, but Arab men were taught by they viewed their father in the marriage like, I need to be like my father. Asabi. Oh, أنا زي أبوي أنا عصبي. Habibi, we don't do asabi no more. We do calming corners, okay? We talk about our feelings, okay?
Right.
It's okay. So sometimes, when we're in a group with friends and like the men talk, we're like, listen, it's okay to let out your feelings. So when you talk to these men, they'll say, you know what, you're right. Like, it feels good to talk about it. Just talk about it. I'm not saying it's
I mean, this is, again, we're probably going to continue talking for another hour because we have so many things to talk about. But I think like Syrian and Lebanese men they actually express. I feel like they do express. They do definitely express. Habibti, Rohi. Egyptian men express, but they express it in bil muamle and what they do for you, right? Not necessarily in the words. Like they're gonna be like Habibti, ta'y nahki. They're not gonna be like that.
No, Palestinian men, like Palestinian koh, okay? They know how to love their woman. They're difshin. Okay?
Well, it's Bilad al-Sham,
they're difshin with love, but they know how to love their woman. I've seen it. Everyone has their problems. I'm not saying anyone's perfect, but they know how to love their woman.
All right, so we've come to the end of this podcast. I want to thank Hanooon for taking the time to meet with me today. I really did enjoy our conversation, and we're definitely doing this again for sure.
Of course.
And also, where can people follow you if they're interested in following your story and your journey?
Follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. My @name is Hanooon. You won't miss me.
Yeah, how many O's are in there?
9.
9. Okay.
Yeah, I counted.
I love it. Yep. All right. If you're interested in following us here at Kazouza Hamra, it's linked below. And again, thank you so much. If there's any topics you guys would like to hear about in the future, go ahead and comment below. And until next time, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.